people are acting like the women's game in all aspects hasn't been great. It's always been. We just needed the proper marketing.
Always, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We just needed the proper attention. We just needed the people to put us on ESPN1 and not ESPN2.
Yep.
And we needed you to tell our stories.
And it is another edition of Hoops Adjacent on the Athletic NBA Show. David Aldrich here in DC. It's getting hot. Marcus, why are you doing Stevie? Why what's with the Stevie impression? What are you doing?
I just had to put my sunglasses on. We got the brightest star in the game. I'm trying to protect my eyes, man. I'm trying to protect my eyes.
Marcus, that's so good. Damn. You are that's so good.
Hey man, eyes are everything, Cari. I gotta protect myself. I'm not trying to be 75 at KC.
You know what I mean? Tapping around. Can't have it. By far the best guest we've ever had on the show. And I say that all due respect to Steph, all due respect to Barkley, all due respect to Weber, all due respect to all of them. Cari Champion's on our show. Come on, man. I can't do it. I'm gonna retire after this. This is the end of my show.
I can't take the compliments. It's too much, but no, you stop. Give me more. You stop.
More. She has got the Cari Champion show.
This is a West Side episode, DA.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's see them dubs, baby.
It's on Peacock. Just check it out every day. The Cari Champion show. She's fantastic. She's awesome. Thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Marcus,
I am really happy to be here. I'm not kidding. You know, David is doing all this love for me. I worship when he comes on. So thank you. I feel it's embarrassing to get all the compliments back. But I understand.
I did Cari's show just a little while ago, and she's doing our show. So this is the ultimate black on black love. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like this is what we're supposed to be doing each other's podcasts.
Correct.
I am
I'm
beyond
just here amongst
thrilled.
legends. That's all I know.
Stop
I'm
it.
just rolling with legends. This is what I do. This is my regular Tuesday. You feel me?
All right. So, Marcus, we talked on Cari's show about it. We might as well talk about it. Cari, did you see Caitlin Clark's tweet that came out after I did the show?
I did.
I see it, Marcus?
I saw her interview. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, as I tweeted, that should be the end of it, right? Unless you don't want it to be the end of it. You know what I'm saying? Like that should be it. Like it's over now. Stop yammering about it. She said she ain't got no problem with it. So what are you talking about? If the person that was directly impacted by it said, I'm good with it, no problem. What are we talking about?
I think it's so I hope it's done. I really do. I think that Caitlin is, and by the way, she received the same messages. She's been trash talking all tournament long. So she really is like, that's what's a part of it's a game. And I appreciate her for saying that. I hope, this is what I hope. I hope two things. After the story is over, I want Angel to stop tweeting. And then I want us to all move on. That's what I want. Because she's not tweeting graciously. And I'm like, we got it. We got you. We understood what was said. I had your back. Now let's just move on. That's it.
Yes.
I love that. She's not tweeting graciously. I will
stop
be borrowing
winning.
that.
You know what I mean? Like stop winning.
Borrowing
stop.
That yeah. So I wanted to ask you, I especially like your perspective on this. Is this good for the game to have all of these people talking about it, or is it a little seedy? Because some of these people clearly don't watch women's basketball.
Oh no, it's great for the game. Like I want you to join in. I want you not to know what you're talking about. I don't want you to be of note, so bold, like some of these people that are so bold with millions of followers influencing others to make them think they know what they're talking about. I appreciate Keith Olbermann taking his hot ass take back, but what I want is more of this. I like a story. I like a storyline. I like characters. I love that now we've got the president involved. Like I love all of this. You know what I mean? I'm here for all of this drama because at the end of the day, the women need this, and more importantly, we need to show that we too can bang like the boys. I don't want the uninvolved male in this conversation. That's just a part of it, right? I'm being fair. I'm using my words carefully.
You can
But
cuss on my show.
Yeah, I was like, listen, if I'm against the buck, I'm tired of these archaic old white men jumping in saying things they don't know anything about.
You watched the second of women's basketball this year.
And then it brings a racial element to it, and then it makes people have to defend. And I think the game deserves more respect. And as I said to you on your show, I'm watching the game Saturday with a bunch of dudes, and they're like, "Yo, these girls are banging. This is real. I love
That's
it."
That's the best part.
Of course.
They are banging. And
I want pettiness. I want them to be petty. I love that. That's what I grew up with.
If Caitlin would have won and went around the court doing this to everybody, I would have jumped out of my seat. I would have loved it.
I would have loved every moment. I would have loved they would have took it. Angel would have took it. Yeah. Jasmine would have took it. They would have all took the L that they deserved. And we would have been like, this was the most amazing thing ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I want to get this straight for people that are listening to this, because I said this on Cari's show, and I think we all agree on this. And my sister actually texted me yesterday, and she was like, "We don't hate Caitlin. That's not the issue." And I'm like, "Of course we don't hate Caitlin. We love Caitlin. She's great. She's phenomenal."
I'm offended by this need to protect Caitlin. That is
a
hooper, man. Like
she can ball. She don't need your help.
Like she's soft. Yeah, no. What?
I literally with the best line. She's not a damsel in distress. We're all set. She doesn't need your help. She didn't ask for your help. She was so locked in. She gave us the Kobe lock in. Remember when Spike was talking to Kobe and Kobe didn't even know? She was so locked into the game. She had no idea. And even if she did, it didn't matter. She was just like, okay, all right, we lost. Like it was just all coming. It was just
right.
But that's what they do. And people, I felt like just the optics. I will say this: the optics were a beat too long for me. I'm like, you got her. It was a beat too long for me. I was like, you got her, Angel. You got her at the free throw line. You got her when you walked around the court. We got it. The message is received. It's just a beat too long, but she's 20 years old. Yeah. And I'm like, gotta let her be 20 and figure this all out. Right. And at this level of the game, and it's hard for her to understand. I mean, but she will, because life will humble your ass. Yeah. She will understand there is only so much you can do. Like we're with her, we're supporting her, which is why I also said, I have your back, Angel. Now let's just tweet a little more graciously. We got it. Like, it's not a versus anymore, because Caitlin's like, I'm all set. Women should be able to talk. And so the conversation should be over.
Exactly.
The issue that I have is, like, that's people like Angel who do too much are as much a part of basketball as the people who don't. Like Pat Bev exists, right?
Exactly. Draymond exists.
People exist. These are part of the game. And it was too long for me. She'd have to follow her. But if you've played basketball at any level, you got somebody who's always doing too much. Yeah. It doesn't mean it's not an assault on character. That's the part. No, this is just hoop, man. That's what it is.
Oh, that's so smart, because two things can be true. It's not an assault on her character, but it is too much. Pat Bev will have your back. When he was on the Lakers, I didn't mind him going up to the refs, showing him the like, here you go.
Right. With the cameras.
Here you go. At that point in time, I was like, Pat Bev's not doing too much. He's doing the right amount. It was the perfect amount, because he was the Lakers doing it for us. So you're absolutely right. Two things can be true. You might be doing too much, but depending on whose side you're on, you're okay with that as well.
Today's show is brought to you by Indeed. Visit Indeed.com/NBA Show 22 to start hiring now. What's better than finding quality candidates? Finding them instantly. For a powerful hiring partner, you need Indeed. Indeed is the hiring platform where you can attract, interview, and hire all in one place. Don't spend hours on multiple job sites looking for candidates with the right skills when you can do it all with Indeed. Find top talent fast with Indeed's suite of powerful hiring tools like Indeed Instant Match, assessments, and virtual interviews. If you hate waiting, Indeed's U.S. data shows that over 80% of Indeed employers find quality candidates whose resume on Indeed matches their job description the moment they sponsor a job. Indeed knows that when you're doing everything for your company, you can't afford to overspend on hiring. Visit Indeed.com/NBA Show 22 to start hiring now. Just go to Indeed.com/NBA Show 22. Indeed.com/NBA Show 22. Terms and conditions apply. Cost per application pricing not available for everyone. Need to hire? You need Indeed.
Yeah. I want everybody to be able to compete at the highest level and not have a problem. I've told Marcus this before. The HBO did this special on Magic and Bird a few years ago. And my favorite part by far of this documentary, which went all the way back to the beginning of their relationship and all through everything, was after the Celtics won the title in '84. And Magic was terrible. It was terrible in that series. He threw the ball away, missed shots.
Tragic Johnson, yeah.
Tragic Johnson, right? That's where it started. And they asked Bird, what did you think about what Magic was going through? And he was like, I loved it. It was great. I loved that he was suffering. I'm glad that he didn't feel good. He didn't play well. He caused this thing. That's what rivalries are about. And years later.
But you, okay, so we're talking to evolved men, right? Men who get what it's supposed to be. Yeah. There is a world in which, and in not for nothing, we're talking to two Black men, right? I'm talking to two Black men, not for nothing. It didn't bother you to see a 6'3" Angel hovering over a 5'10" Caitlin, letting her know that you lost. Yeah. And it didn't appear threatening, and it didn't appear uncomfortable. It was like, this is the game. So when you have people who want to make women one, before we even get into the race, women one play according to an assigned role of how we play, then that makes them uncomfortable. When I tell you those girls in Iowa was banging down low, just like LSU was. So
good for them.
They were elbowing. They were getting dirty with it. They were fighting the ball. We forget. Against Louisville, our girl Caitlin told Haley Van Leaf, "Shut up! You down by 15.
Down 15. Shut up!"
And
exactly.
Shut up.
And it was fantastic.
And we loved it. Shut up! You're down by 15. She waved off a South Carolina shooter. Like, come on, y'all. We ain't gotta worry about here. Stay back here.
Right.
Whatever. We loved all of that. And so, for the people who don't, obviously, one, watch the sport, great, but two, it's something about the way in which the look of an Angel Reese bothered people because it's not traditional. And then Geno Auriemma earlier this year saying, I don't know what that is. It's called new basketball, buddy. These kids are playing like everybody, and you better get with it and go and recruit from the streets of Baltimore if you want to still be in this game. If that's that's what I wanted to say to Geno. Why he was so upset about the type of basketball he thought it should be. Yeah. And he's starting to age himself out. And it might not be the likeness of an NIL that's making him disappear, but he will be like a Coach K or Roy Williams who don't want to deal with what the new game is starting to look like. And it's not new. It's just a new generation. And what we're seeing, they just talk. They just like, this is what it is. This is how we play ball. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. No, I'm
That's such a great point, because like we're literally watching like this transformation happen with players who not only are out there to hoop, they're out there to build their brand. They're conscious about their image. Like, it's all part of the entire package. And there is an entire industry built on this awareness, right? Like, this is not they've watched it work for NBA players, right? They're watching it work for WNBA players. So it's going to be interesting to see who lives it, like who succeeds in this. Dawn's clearly going to be fine, right? Dawn's is going to be legit, right? Like, but it's going to be interesting to watch who just drops off. Like, yo, I can't deal with this.
Well, Don will tell you, look, I grew up in the streets of Philadelphia. This is what we did. I catered myself to this tradition. But this is what I know, and this is what I'm seeing. She's ahead of the curve, and she has been so gracious, and also she could have went even further if she wanted to. Mm-hmm. She could have called names. She could have talked about Kim. She could have said things. She could have been very, very clear. She was the biggest Brittany Griner supporter, while Kim Mulkey, Brittany Griner's former coach, was not. Yeah. And she was very clear about what she felt. Dawn has been gracious, ahead of the curve and gracious. Mm-hmm. And she's too about to go get her some shooters so she can be back on top.
That's exactly what she's going to do. She's going to have 3, 4, 5 shooters on the floor next year to take care of that, and that's what you're supposed to do. Rearm, adjust.
Yes. I got beat.
Big dog. You know what I'm saying?
I got beat. And by the way, Caitlin Clark is special. Like, no one's disrespecting little Steph. She's special, and we like it, and we want to see more of her. And I want her to trash talk, and I want her to get in everybody's face, and I want her to say, "Shut up! You down by 15. You have nothing to say." And what we missed, what you guys didn't notice when I was watching Twitter, and then I heard about this, Asia Wilson tweeted, because she was at the game. She was like talking to the refs real grimy. And I don't know if she was referencing, I was told she was referencing how some of the Iowa players were, as well as the LSU players were talking to the refs really grimy. Like she went on a whole little rant. And her thing was like, oh, these players are different. And then Diamond DeShields tweets, and she was like, this new generation is different. She was like, they're different. They don't care. And you know it's coming. They don't care. Because not only are they looking at the WNBA, as you mentioned, David, they looking at the NBA like, I want to be like Draymond.
Absolutely.
He's my favorite player.
Right.
I want to be like
Draymond. Get it. No problem with it. None.
Cari, we were talking about something that was just wild to say. Me and DA, like, you know, obviously Caitlin is not eligible to go pro yet, so she'll be back. But then you start thinking, they're making so much money off NILs. Why leave? Isn't it crazy to think you take a pay cut to leave college ball? Like, it's
crazy.
This new industry is crazy.
It's going to be 7-year freshmen. They're going to be just like in the football game. They're going to be 25, family, still playing ball for Don Staley, 2 kids, kids, like married, living their best lives. Yeah, right. I totally see that. Yeah, it's an interesting concept. But what I do know is that I do believe the women are going to, at the WNBA level, make more money. I like this new CBA that allows them to form a quote unquote super team like what Vegas did, and like what they're doing, a Stewie's team in New York. Like I like this idea because it's interesting, and I like that these women are really coming together. Like, okay, I'm forming the model. People were like, "Oh, the women's game is just now getting respect." And I had Ashlyn Harris, who was on our women's soccer team, 2-time World Cup champion, and she said to me, she goes, "People are acting like we weren't. The women's game in all aspects hasn't been great. It's always been. We just needed the proper marketing. We just needed the proper attention. We just needed the people to put us on ESPN1 and not ESPN2. And we needed you to tell our stories." And Angel was on the cover of Slam. Her and I got the rapper. Give me her name. Her for the freshman. Angel's freshman. I forget her name. Flo. I think it's Flo. Just I can't think of her name.
Oh yeah, yes. I know.
She just Lil Wayne said you're gonna be she's gonna
That's
feature.
Right. I'm gonna do a lyric on. Yes.
Yeah, and these they're starting to tell their stories. And so now we're starting to pay attention. We're like, oh, I'm interested. I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know you have bars. Oh, okay. So now all you have to do is give us these characters and tell us who don't like who. And now we already have a built-in rivalry with Iowa and LSU, which is really not even there.
Right.
And Dawn will be more vocal next year. Like she had things to say. She was just trying to hold back. And now she's like, oh, okay, everybody's talking. I too will start talking.
Right. Right. No, there is nothing. Oh God. That's why I love, the Connecticut, Tennessee thing, because they were like, I'll play you every year. I don't care where, I don't care when.
Yes.
Let's do this. And the real dislike they had for one another. I love that. That's so I love that because it's real. Give me the real.
I can't wait till Candace Parker decides to write a book about how Geno kept her off the team. Like I can't wait till we start getting those stories, right? Because the women have been. I have long said for like the last 10 years, I'm like, y'all so polite. Tell the truth. Shame the devil. Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Dude, can they handle that? I mean, there's some stories out there, Cari.
Who handle that?
Telling the truth. The establishment, the people that be telling the stories about.
Probably not, but the same way that we know that Magic and Isaiah fell out, and then they had their whole family reunion and we saw them come back together in theory.
Penny and Shaq,
right. Penny and Shaq. Like I think I'm ready for that. I'm ready for the WNBA version of The Last Dance. I took it personally. I'm ready for that, and I think that people will want to see that and hear that, and that just grows the game. People get so mad at me for like I had said that they're like, that doesn't grow the game. I'm like, it absolutely does. I absolutely does. I have people asking me about the WNBA players that have never paid attention once. Now they're like, okay, I'm interested in what these ladies are doing.
Yeah. One of the great missed opportunities in sports history was not having a camera follow around Diana Taurasi everywhere she went. Like,
are you kidding me? Are you
Mark
kidding
it.
me?
I
Mark
still don't
it.
understand why she's not the biggest star. Like she is nuts. She's
Right.
great.
Mark it. We've all heard the Summer Olympic stories of how she was G'ing up the NBA players, and they were
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I've not one player that has not played with her, has not been over there or wherever they've gone to the Summer Olympics and talked about how DT gets at them.
Yeah.
Like a dude, like, you know, for lack of a better term. I respect it. I want to hear.
No
I
question.
want to hear
She's
how
beloved for it too. Yeah.
beloved for it.
Yeah.
They respect her for it. Chicago Sky, when she was tearing up the locker room when they lost. I want to hear.
Right.
I want to hear about that. I want to
Exactly.
tell me
She
more. Why
literally
can't we
threatened the
talk about
ref on the court. I'll see you in the lobby.
That's
And the
She
great.
ref
is
was
a
talking,
legend, yo.
the ref was talking. Shut up. What? Anyway, go ahead. Anyway, you're bothering me, ref.
See people in all of in the glorious pettiness, I think is fantastic. I like that. I don't
Mhm.
like things like there's unwritten rules in baseball. No, I want to see Jose Bautista flip his bat. I love that. If you don't like it, strike him out next time.
All of us do.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all of it. And the purist, you know, it reminds me of when I was at ESPN and I was doing Sports Center on a Sunday with Hannah. And I used to do this segment about what are the players wearing. And I wasn't in the war room where they, you know, where all the producers who kind of prep the talent before they go on were sitting, because I was obviously on camera. But I come back and an analyst, an NFL analyst goes, "Oh God, Cari, they were so upset that you did the segment on what the players are wearing." One producer said, "I can't believe what we're turning into. We're doing fashion shows. We're talking about what the players are wearing, like so put out." And it's that process, it's that thought process that we can't grow the game into different aspects, which
Yeah.
keeps it so stale and keeps it
Yeah.
exclusive.
Right.
It's not fair because it's everybody's game. You can't profit off my likeness. And what I mean by my likeness is my blackness, and then be
Mhm.
mad that I want to celebrate what it is
Yeah.
and call it a part of the game that it's not. That's just not fair. That's not how this works. It's inclusive, and you can't do that. You can't live in that world.
And what does the NBA become but a runway show pregame? That's all it is now.
Oh,
And the W now too. You know, that's all it is.
That's all they care about. Who has a
No,
line? Everybody got a
all
line.
anybody under 30 cares about. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get it. Like, it doesn't have to be for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just understand everything's not for you. You know?
They were, and the commentators were like, "So Angel has, I guess that's her baby hair." I'm like, I can't. I'm not about to do that with y'all. I'm not about to do that with y'all, where you're trying to figure out her hairstyle.
Her baby hair. Oh my
Yeah, and it's
God.
laid so perfectly after 4 quarters of
All they gotta do is call their
basketball.
little black friends, you know, call their daughter's black friend and be
Right.
like, "What do you call that?" Be like,
Yeah,
"Man,
what-
that's
what-
number edges."
Like, it's something that is going on. Interesting, huh?
We'll know next year. We're here on the broadcast. Her edges are laid. They're gonna be like,
Oh.
"Oh, you want to talk to somebody?"
And that's when they start diversifying the people on the call, right? And you're like, oh,
Exactly.
they're late.
Exactly. Oh my God.
You know
It's
what's
gonna
interesting, DA? This is
What's that?
hilarious to me when I think about it. Like, because you know, Cari's always moving. She's always doing big things, right? I was thinking, you've been in the game for a long time. Do you feel like an OG?
I do feel like an OG. Like, I came in 2012. Like, I feel like okay, so here's why. I feel like I'm an OG because people say that. I'm like, okay, cool. But you have to realize I had spent like almost 10 years at ESPN. 2012, I left it was 8.5. I left in 2020. And I didn't realize, you know, I was on First Take for 2.5 years. That's, you know, that's quick learning, right? You learn fast, like you figure it out quick, and
Right.
you know, sink or swim. And then Sports Center, same thing, sink or swim. So I always felt like I was catching up. I didn't really know that I was doing it. I always felt like I was catching up because of how fast paced everything was and just the nature of the politics. And so you don't really know, being insulated in the environment. You know this well, being insulated, you're like, am I doing this shit? Because I don't know. Michael Smith would say this to me all the time. Let me be careful. Or not, rather. He would say, I would come into the makeup room or wherever I bump into him at, and you know, I was just trying to figure it out. And he was like, I see what happens. And he was like, I ain't shit, Bubble, huh? You don't know that you the shit. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, yeah, you the shit, but you don't know that because you're in this bubble. You haven't left these four walls, if you will. Like once you get outside, you'll realize that you've done some great things. So don't forget that. And I took it to heart. So then you leave, and I felt like I was a girl that had just broke up from a relationship, and I had a new black dress on, and I had all these new suitors, and I was like, I guess I'm cute. So
Change your hair, everything.
Yeah, I got my hair ready. I got my nails done. I was like, you want to go on a date?
Right.
You want me to do a TV show with my girl Jay? You know, you start to realize, and humbly speaking, when I call on people like DA to come on my show, I get so humbled by the fact that they say yes. Like, there are people that I just reach out to that I consider OGs in the game. They're like, sure, yeah, I got you. I'm like, wow. Like, I feel that way. I felt that way about DA. I feel that way about people I reach out to who still roll with me, although I'm not at the four letters, and I appreciate it. So, I mean, yeah, it's been like, I've been in the game for about 10 years. It feels longer though, right? It feels like I've been in forever.
I don't know. I'm counting them 10 years before when you was on the grind, just doing real, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I know people think you just walked on the ESPN, but you know.
I was, they're like, where did she come from? I'm like, local news for about 10 other years. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Sure. It's this whole other life you had.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows about.
I've been living. I've been in it. And I also think now, much like with an Angel Reese, and we're talking about the advent of the women's game, this generation is getting it quicker. A Candace Parker will be like, I wish I had the audacity to be that bold. A Candace Parker wishes that she could be that bold when she was at Tennessee under Pat Summitt. There's just no way Pat would have let that go down.
Couldn't happen then.
Could not have happened then. And I feel that way too about some of the people that I watch. I'm like, I could never get away with what y'all are doing on TV now. Like, I remember walking into ESPN with heels and a little skirt, and they thought that I might as well have murdered somebody. You know what I mean? But now it's a different game. Like, they were like, you have on heels. You look like a woman. And I'm like, yeah, because I am. Like, there was this women, Jamel was wearing jerseys on TV and t-shirts, sneakers. And then, Sage was wearing big suits and baggy pants. And I was like, that's not my vibe. I'm from LA. Right. That's not how I get down. Like,
exactly.
And I was told so many times, like, wait, why are you? I'm like, it's closed. It's fine. It's fine. My shoulders can be out. Like, don't sacrilege. My shoulders can be out. Right, Marcus. It was really crazy. And now, people got dental floss on TV, and I'm like, okay, call me out. I'm good.
Oh my Lord. They used to always. They used to know what they used to always say to me. Why don't you smile more? Why don't you laugh more? And I said, you know when I laugh? When someone tells me a funny joke. That's when I laugh. But I'm not just gonna
perform. I got that too. I'm all set. People like me. I'm doing my job. I'm all set. Yeah. I know.
So yeah.
Well,
I'm gonna just keep it moving.
You've done well. You've done great things.
Thank you.
No, and speaking of great things, she's got things to do. So we're going to say goodbye now because you've got stuff. And Marcus, you have stuff, and I have stuff, and Andrew has stuff because we're all famous and wonderful and incredible OGs.
I don't know about that, buddy.
Greatness.
You are.
I'm just
all the
riding
greatness
with legends,
on this
you know what I'm saying?
podcast, on this American podcast.
Marcus up here with my Ice Cube Mac 10 voice. I'm with it. Like, you got me with all the West Coast energy.
You know what I'm saying? Let's go. Let's go.
I love it. I just pray that people are smart enough in the women's game to schedule first game of the year, Iowa at LSU. That's got to be the whole season opener, doesn't it? Doesn't it have to be?
And if they don't do it, they missed, right? Or is it? I'll take South Carolina, Iowa. Give Dawn a chance to get her shooter.
Absolutely, that would be fine too.
I will take LSU, South Carolina. I'll take all of it. You know what I mean? Like, those teams are really special, and we're seeing something. I mean, we get at least another year of Angel and Caitlin, and I'm here for all.
And like you said, Dawn will be back. Dawn's going to reload. She's going to be fine.
Prime time.
I'm not even I'm waiting for one of those players to get mad at whatever respective coach and hit the transfer portal and make their way. I said it here on your podcast. What are those stars that we've just seen from those championship teams will fill away, right? Because Eagles get involved and they will hit the transfer portal and they be in South Carolina. I promise.
No question. No question. Cari Champion, you have graced us with your presence, and thank you so much for joining us. This has been fantastic. I love this so much.
Guys. I appreciate you, David. I'll have you on all the time. Marcus, can I get you on the Cari Champion show?
On Peacock?
In the West Side edition, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, the West Side? Hey, yay.
Hey, when the Warriors Kings in the playoffs, first round, we go all Cali.
Oh, Lord.
What is it? The I-5 series? Would that be the I-5 series?
Oh, that would be nice.
That's the 80 series. I-5
80, right. You're right. I-80 series. Yes. That's right.
I love it. That would be nice. Too bad. So sad.
Whatever you need, my sister. Whatever you need.
Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate you. Andrew, thank you for your patience.
Absolutely. All right, y'all. Leave them 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you get this fine American podcast. Marcus, if they can't leave 5 stars, what do they need to do?
Keep it to yourself, you haters.
We're going to have Angel Reese talk bad about you.
Yeah, and they won't be gracious tweets about you either.
No.